Okay, welcome everyone again. So this is the intermediary group. So basically organizations that do it all. So we're going to hear from Public Allies Arizona, Mesa United Way, and Arizona Serve of Prescott College. So we really have about 25 minutes for each of these organizations to talk with you all about, the ins and outs of their programs. And I think there are a few of us enough in here that we have time to have everyone introduce themselves, if that's okay with you all. So I'll go ahead and start. My name's Lou. I use she, her pronouns, and I work with Public Allies Arizona. I'm also a two-term AmeriCorps alum. I served in the AmeriCorps in Proce. Sarai, I'll pass it off to you.
Morning, everyone. I recognize most of your faces or names. My name is Sarai, they, them pronouns. I work at Public Allies as a program manager. I am based in our Phoenix office. I served in the State National AmeriCorps program for 2 years, and then I moved on to the Student Conservation Association, and then I served 2 years in Vista, and then I did Peace Corps. So all in all, in national service, somewhere around 7 years, plus all of the years that I've worked for national service. So close to about 15 years in the national service realm.
I can go next. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Haber. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am with Arizona Serve. We are an AmeriCorps program of Prescott College. I myself served as a Vista for 2 years up in our Prescott location, and then I got hired on full time, and then they relocated me down here to Tucson. So thank you for having me here today.
I can go next. My name is Allison Doty. I am also at Arizona Serve with Sarah. And I am a current AmeriCorps member in the Team Outreach and Development Coordinator position.
I'll go next. I'm Desiree Hoover. I'm actually a high school and middle school ESS coordinator and behavior specialist. And I'm just really trying to add to my toolbox for my students who are in transition services. So they have a wider array of options. So that's why I wanted to join.
Well, I don't mind going next. My name is Harmony Nelson. My pronouns are she, her, and I work for Mesa United Way. I did coordinate full-time our AmeriCorps Vista and AmeriCorps State and National programs for about 2 years, starting in 2016, and then was replaced with Catherine Berger, who's in another breakout session, but still am sort of a part-time assist on that program. So familiar with that and very familiar with a lot of the different programs that our AmeriCorps members work with, because I am now acting as the Director of Community Impact at our organization. So still working real closely with everybody.
And then Andres is here, but he is also in another meeting. So Andres Rapa is also with Arizona Serve. Andres is our amazing AmeriCorps Vista program manager for our Vista members that are serving down here in Tucson. So he will be in and out. Quite a hectic week, but that is who Andres is.
Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for being willing to introduce yourselves. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Sarai to talk about the Public Allies Arizona program.
I want to make sure I'm pronouncing, well, the only person I'm talking to in the room is Desiree, is that correct? Okay, everyone else here works for an organization, and so I want to make sure that I am understanding your needs for your students and the interest of potentially your students in joining a program like this. Where are you located? So we know a little bit more about which program might serve you best.
I'm in Phoenix, like near like Thomas and 30th Street area.
Okay. So like so if you're in Phoenix, then like Prescott Serves is in Prescott and Tucson. So those wouldn't really work unless your students transfer, obviously.
Mhm.
While Harmon, are you in Metro Phoenix yet, or are you just still in Mesa?
We're pretty exclusively in Mesa. Yeah.
Okay. So our program is the only one for you right now.
And which one is that? Which program is that, the Mesa
And
one?
so our program, Public Allies, is in the Phoenix metropolitan area. So we're all across the valley, and then also within Tucson also, and we're working on becoming statewide over the next couple years. And so depending on where your students live, I'm guessing they all probably live within the city of Phoenix area.
Yeah.
We might be the best bet for them. And I'm more than happy to come in and talk to your students in a classroom talk also, and talk about our programs. I don't know how we want to go about this, but I wanted to make sure that obviously the elephant in the room was present.
Right. Well, I guess, I mean, just to be mindful of everyone's time, then I guess if currently those are that's the only one that would work for my students, and I would love to hear about that. And then I could still down the road just become more familiarized with the other programs, just to know. But I have a senior this year who just recently changed his mind about what he wants to do. He went back. It first was law enforcement, and then it went to business, and now it's back to law enforcement with just a few months. So I'm just like, okay, so I'm just trying to, and we were doing some research, and we know he can't apply for the academy until he's like 20 and a half. So I'm like, okay, well, we can find something else. Like in the meantime, you could take some like local classes in like a criminal justice. But then when I saw that you guys have like a program that might, I'm like, oh, that might be great. And then it'd be like a year, he could make some money possibly. So I was like, this might be a really great fit for him. So well, yeah.
Oh, I'd also just want to chirp in for a quick second. Our summer opportunity that I was going to present on today has the potential of being remote as well. So I don't want to exclude myself from the pool of potential interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harmony.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take up anyone else's time or space. Like if anyone else wants to see if they can jump into another space to like talk about their programs, that would be more like applicable.
Well, I think we also want the recordings.
Okay.
So we'll start with you, but we'll still get everyone's presentations, just to have them on record.
Sweet. I want to make sure everyone's in the space where they can do the most good.
For sure.
All right. I'm gonna bring up mine. Okay. So thanks for joining. I'm gonna put this on slide. So the Public Allies program is a national-wide program. We are located here in Arizona within Phoenix and Tucson. We've been within the Phoenix and Tucson area for the last 15 years. We're celebrating our 15th year this year. Public Allies is a national movement in commitment towards social justice and equity within our communities. Our job is to work with diverse populations within our communities to build leadership skills among them. And so our position is to help build equity within organizations through diversity. And so we are a part of the AmeriCorps program, as we've all known. And so our mission is to create a just and equitable society and foster the diverse leadership to sustain it. So you may have heard earlier where Emily was talking about how state and national programs are more about direct service, like building houses or helping at a community food bank or mentoring and tutoring. We are a state and national program. However, we focus on capacity building. So we're more similar to the VISTA program. And so what we do is we have a 3 core kind of program that I'm going to talk about in a little bit that enhances the leadership within the community members that come into our program. And we encourage them to have leadership within certain organizations, nonprofit, governmental agencies, and community organizations where they are focused on making the change and sustaining it. We have a few core values that we adhere to with our allies, and this is where our curriculum comes in and how we teach our AmeriCorps members. So that includes diversity and inclusion, integrity, focusing on assets, collaboration, continuous learning, and innovation. And all 6 of these core values go into the curriculum that we create, and we encourage critical learning along the processes of our program. So this year, the stipend is going up for our program. It's going to be around $15,000 for a 10-month program. So a lot of 1,700 hour programs that are available out there that are full-time, they are around 12 months. So we condense that down to 10 months. And we highly encourage our AmeriCorps members to take advantage of not only having their hours at their host placement site, so the organization that they're at, they're learning, they're being mentored at these locations, but they're also getting hours out of our professional development and training and their personal independent development plan. And so they actually write out where they're going in the next year, how they want to get there, what sort of resources they need, lots of training, and they can devote up to 20% of their time on self-development in these areas. And so we want to make sure that this is affordable. This allows for diverse communities to come in. And so by smashing it down to smashing it down from 12 months to 10 months, we are able to pay them more within that period of time. And so we also offer free healthcare, child assistance if their children are under the age of 14 years of age. Then they also receive the Education Award, which they can use towards community college, trade schools, etc., etc. If they are not interested in going back to school, they could use it on past student loans if that's a thing. Or if they want to use it for like a study abroad or anything like that, expand their opportunities, that's possible. A lot of schools will match this or a partial amount of it.
So they automatically get that if they're in your like if they become a part of the 10-month program, that automatically becomes a benefit that they'll get. Is that?
Yeah, so as long as they finish their hours, their 1,700 hours, that is theirs.
That is awesome.
And then it is a life-changing opportunity for service. They are getting a chance to change the face of a nonprofit or an organization. We have a lot of organizations that are working on criminal justice reform within our programming, just thinking about your one specific student. So our program, like I said, is divided into 3 different programs. The apprenticeship, so being with a local nonprofit, working within education, public health, economic development, criminal justice reform, and a million other opportunities. And then we also encourage them for leadership development. So we intentionally put in 200 hours within their training hours to learn about critical feedback. They reflect on their own personal leadership styles. They receive personalized coaching from our management team. And they also, many of them receive mentors within the communities that we partner with. And then they develop their individual professional goals and plans, and they receive hours towards that. And then in addition to that, learning from their apprenticeship within their organizations that they're placed with, and then also the leadership, they work with their team of AmeriCorps members to come up with a team service project. This is something that the community has said this is a need, and you AmeriCorps members with your specific skill sets and also wanting to learn program design and management are overseeing these projects and helping build and find resources for these communities to be able to sustain these projects. So how does one apply? Our program to apply, I'm going to bring up the website real quick for you, is different from the AmeriCorps website. So we're at publicallies.org, copy, and you can click on the Be an Ally, and then individuals can apply here. It's a very simple application. Our application process just changed. We are very open to how individuals put in their information. We understand that there is a gap in equality when it comes to resumes, having references, understanding the processes of interviewing and things like that. And so we bridge that gap by allowing multiple different ways to apply to our program and come into our program. Our goal is to have the diversity of America within our program, because we are constantly talking about issues that are happening within social justice, that are affecting us as a society. And so we want to be able to have those differencing of opinions and differencing of lifestyles, so that individuals can talk one another about bigger change, systemic change. And so that is why we want to make sure that we always have individuals coming into our program from all walks of life, from people that are coming out of the criminal justice system, individuals that are coming out of high school, to those that are maybe second careers or older, as a giant cohort to talk about these problems. And so this is our website here in the chat. Feel free to take that down. And I'm going to put my email too, so that individuals can reach out to me there. Any sorts of, and then I also do workshops spontaneously on resume building, interview skills, and work in like office space. And so how to learn about being a part of an office, because this may be someone's first job ever. And so what does that culture look like? And so those also are a part of our training when getting individuals into these placements. I'll pause for any questions.
No, that's awesome. That's a lot of really great info. I wish I would have known all this before. This is all such great things that because we do have a very diverse population here where I'm at. And so so it's just nice that there are just more options to them that are actively wanting their input and wanting, I have a lot of students who are refugees. And so it's just such a diverse population. And then just the education awards, we're Title I, like 98%, free and reduced. So just any more, options they have for opportunities to help get whatever their goals are for after school, help make that happen is awesome. And I have a few students who are even younger who are already kind of interested in Job Corps. And so that's, so this is kind of, it feels like another type of extension to that, or not necessarily an extension, but just another avenue for them. And especially the ones who are more, like they want to go to trade school, the student who wants to go to the academy. So, it just sounds really awesome. So I'm just really excited to, I'll for sure be reaching out to you, because I'd love to set up some sort of like informational session with them, or if you can come in person or virtually or however. I have a smaller caseload, but I could invite the seniors. We're a small school. Our senior class, I want to say, is like 25. So so I think that'd be really great, because a few of them, we just lost our college counselor a few months ago, and so a lot of them been coming to me, and like, so I'm like this would be great just to give them just some more ideas for, so I'll definitely be in touch. So hopefully at some point, at some point before the end of the school year, this last quarter, we could maybe work something out, but I'm really excited.
And we're accepting applications right now for the fall cohort. And so if individuals are going to be graduating, they should apply anywhere between now and like the 15th of June at the latest. And that's when we're going to start our interview, go through our procedures for them to meet the placement organizations.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, exciting. Oh, I'm so excited to tell them today when I see them. Okay. But no, I don't have any other questions other than, I don't have any other questions.
I have a question for you, Sarai. And this may be kind of a difficult question. I know that when I get this question, it's, not easy to answer because there's just so many different opportunities that folks can tap into with our program. But I guess, what would a typical day sort of look like for somebody who is serving with Public Allies? I understand that, for every member that may look different, but if you could maybe give an example of what that kind of visually looks like.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Sarah. So with our program, and individuals are placed at organizations. So we're kind of an intermediary program, right? Just like any of these other organizations where we find partners and then we place individuals. So we don't keep them with us, like Habitat for Humanity, right? Would have AmeriCorps members and they keep them with Habitat for Humanity. And so directing obviously everyone else in this group knows that, and so what happens is individuals work there about 40 hours a week at their organization, and mostly what our organization is working on is volunteer recruitment, retention. We're working on technology building and sustainability around those resources, and so someone could potentially be working on like diversity, equity, and inclusion within an organization. So they could be developing the curriculum around diversity and equity and inclusion for that organization, be it the staff, and they could be looking for finding professionals to come into those organizations to talk about critical race theory, gender equality, these sorts of things. And that's their year of service. And so throughout the week, they could be doing those sorts of things, building out templates for these resources, stuff like that. And then by month, so every month, twice a month, then they come to us for an 8-hour-a-day training. Where they learn more about their professional development, asset building within the community, community relations, social justice. We even have a special topic we call diverse. So we call DOE or like, sorry, my brain just went, discussions on equity. And so we encourage them to come in critically thinking. We offer them a wide variety of materials, going from the layperson of understanding critical race theory all the way to the academic. And we encourage them to read through these materials, watch the videos, things of that nature. And they come into those discussions with their own experiences. And so we want them to come out informed citizens so that they know where to get their news, know where to go about their lives when it comes to everyday choices and policy that's being made at local or federal levels.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it almost sounds as though you have your members who have a very a specific project that they're working on with their organization, and then there is this added component of bringing in allyship or bringing in equity into their role to bring into these organizations. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, well explained. Cool. And Lou works with me there. And so Lou, if there's anything that I left out.
Well, I would say sort of the third aspect of our program is our pathways. So we work really closely with our allies to make sure that they know what they're doing after their year of service, whether it's doing another year of service or continuing their education or finding a job. We make sure that they're on one of those three tracks, and we sort of coach them throughout the year on the steps that they need to take to be successful.
I spend a lot of time reviewing and editing college essays as a mentor to these individuals. So yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, I so appreciate this session. I am so excited to dive in more and learn more about it. I think I'll have some students maybe, I mean, they might be a couple years out because they have to be at least 17, but I think for this one student in particular, this would be a really great opportunity for him. And previously he wanted to be in business because he wanted to own something like the Boys and Girls Club so he could give back to the community. So I'm just like, gosh, this is just like so perfect for him. I'm just so excited to talk to him about it today. So, oh my gosh, thank you ladies so much for all this information. I will be emailing you for sure, so we can, you know, see what we can get set up, but it was so helpful. I so appreciate it.
Who's next?
Yeah. Before you go, two other fantastic organizations. Harmony, I'm going to pass it over to you next, and I'll ask, do you want me to share your flyer, or would you prefer to share it yourself?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You know, I kind of have that just sent it to you if you don't mind.
No problem.
Great.
Yeah, go ahead and start, and I will share it in just a second.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I definitely so much appreciate all the work that all these organizations do. I'm learning a lot here, even after working with you guys for years. So happy to be here, and thanks for giving me a few minutes to talk about my program as well. This flyer that Lou is about to share is really just one specific component of our program that I want to focus on today, because it's our summer program. So these positions are really available right now. But first, before I get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about our program as a whole. Mesa United Way is an organization that operates out of Mesa. We have been around for 100 years now. This year is our 100-year anniversary. We started serving the community in 1921 as a Mesa Welfare League, and it was funny enough, kind of in response to the last pandemic that we went through as a nation. So our mission is United We Fight for the Health, Education, and Financial Stability of every person in our community. And we focus primarily on health and human services. So a lot of our own programming within our organization, because we do have several programs that we run directly, focus on things like helping foster kids with basic needs and clothing items. We help veterans with our Mesa Veterans Resource Center. We have a reading initiative that helps work in schools and does a virtual reading tutoring program. And we also have a volunteer income tax assistance program. So all of those things are kind of like a holistic view of what our organization is working to do on a daily basis. Our AmeriCorps program really falls directly in line with those priorities. So we focus most of our AmeriCorps members in positions that are going to help with what we kind of describe as homelessness issues. But if you think about homelessness as an issue, it really encompasses so many different needs within the community. Most likely, if you're experiencing a transitional housing situation, you're also experiencing food insecurity and potentially lack of access to education, job insecurity. So a lot of what we do with our members, placing them in different sites throughout the year, focuses on a variety of those types of issues that tie back to homelessness. So our regular positions, we kind of have two. We have two seasons of our AmeriCorps program. Our main season starts in September, and we will recruit for that over the summer. And those positions are anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week, and they're placed in many of our partner sites or within our direct programming. So we have a pretty wide variety of things that are available for folks to do, and they receive a stipend pretty similar to what Sarai described. I think for the 20-hour a week, the total for the year for us is $7,025 for the living stipend and a $3,000 education award. But that's because we only have half-time AmeriCorps. We don't have full-time available. So that's an option there. We also have a 10-hour a week position, which is less than half-time, and that's about $3,545 for the total living stipend for the year, and a $1,600 education award. Those are kind of approximate numbers. Sorry, I know it's hard to even remember that stuff when you leave anyway. So, it's in that area. So those are the options that we typically have, and that season runs from September through August of a year. So it's a full 12 calendar year. It can kind of be condensed if we need to, based on our recruitment and when folks sign up for their positions. So those positions include things like gosh, there's a huge variety. Like we work with a lot of different homelessness agencies to provide support services. So some of the positions that we have in that cycle can include volunteer recruitment or marketing and media outreach. You know, digital marketing is a big one that people want AmeriCorps members for. We also have like warehouse assistants for furniture banks, and we have Meals on Wheels assistants, so people who can drive around and deliver meals to seniors who are trying to live independently at home. So there's a big variety of those types of positions available starting in September. And I would say if anyone is interested in those that you know of, and I know Mesa can be kind of far, but it just kind of depends on your students, right? And where they're coming from, what their situation is, and what they want to do. But if anyone's interested in those, my email is right at the bottom of this flyer. It's a little hard to see down there, but it's just harmony@mesaunitedway.org. So that would be a good place to start when starting the application process. I try to help individually step people through that because it can be a little bit burdensome. So please feel free to send people my way. So this program that I wanted to focus on a little bit more today is our summer program. And I think it's still applicable. Thank you so much, Lou. I appreciate that. I think it's still applicable because right now I'm in the process of working with our partner agency sites to develop whether or not this program is going to be in person or if it's going to be remote. So I still want to talk about it a little bit, even if it may not be the first best option. So basically it's a reading tutoring program, and we also incorporate food insecurity and meal distribution within this program. So essentially we hire 20 AmeriCorps members who go out into the community. We partner with 4 nonprofit sites who work with homeless agencies. So those sites are Save the Family, House of Refuge, A New Leaf La Mesitas Family Homeless Shelter, and then the Boys and Girls Club, who doesn't necessarily focus on homelessness, but has a lot of low-income population. So we focus on those 4 agencies, and we send our AmeriCorps members to those agencies to provide support for their summer programming. This year, that might mean virtual activities. You know, I don't know if they're going to be doing in person the way that we have in the past. So in addition to providing support for the summer programming, we also have developed an evidence-based reading tutoring intervention program with the Mesa Public Schools that we implement in those agencies throughout the summer in order to help stem summer reading loss for those kids who may not have access to the same level of tutoring that other kids with different opportunities might have. So we provide that for them. And in addition to that, we spend one morning a week over the course of the whole summer volunteering for one of our local food banks. And then in exchange for that volunteer service, our food banks give us food boxes that we then distribute to families, not only within the agencies that we work with, but also in partnership with Mesa Public Schools to our Title I schools and to families who qualify for free and reduced lunch. So it's pretty comprehensive program. Like it's got a lot of stuff going on for it, but when you get into the swing of it, it really makes sense. Makes a lot of sense that you can't be a good reader if you're not well nourished at home. So as far as compensation goes, another part of this program over the summer is that we have a 12-week leadership training course provided. So once a week, we meet together for about 5 to 6 hours, and we have guest speakers come in who are like local and regional experts in their area. Leadership course, you know, this type of stuff includes like interpersonal communication, you know, things like what is your leadership style? We usually do like a Myers-Briggs test. We also have somebody come in and talk about the importance of resume building and networking, how to apply for a job and get an interview skills. You know, we do a pretty comprehensive 12-week program that provides these members with all of the opportunities that they might need to move on to their next opportunity. You know, we talk specifically about how to talk about AmeriCorps with your future employer, with someone who you might be interviewing with, all that really good stuff. So that's another added benefit of our summer program that I think a lot of our past participants have really found super valuable. So we're accepting applications for that program still for the next month. And it's not I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be remote or if it's going to be in person yet, because neither are the agencies. So I'm in talks with them about whether or not they're going to open up their summer programming, if they're going to have face-to-face interactions with kids available, or if that's something that we're going to have to do with our virtual reading tutoring program. So that's the only part of this that's still a little bit up in the air. But yeah, feel free to take my information. I'd love to talk more if you think it's something that people might be interested in. I know our area is a little bit removed from your school, but depending on your students' situations, I think it can sometimes be accessible. So
Yeah,
any
absolutely.
questions?
No, and I was actually gonna say, and so this is summer programs always, it's a summer program?
Yeah, we have this summer program right here with this flyer, but our
Okay.
other season of AmeriCorps starts in the fall and lasts for the
All
whole
right.
year. And that's a more diverse set of that's like a more diverse set of positions that are available. So this summer program is really specific because we run it ourselves and we have specific roles. And I wanted to talk about that because that's what's available now. But our school year program, which starts in September and is year round, we have a huge variety of different types of things that are available. And if you have anyone who's interested in this area or in working with homelessness agencies, feel free to give them my contact info.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, I might be interested in this first summer program. If it's summers, I don't work summer, so this would be perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It'd be really cool. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Are there any other questions for Harmony?
No.
Great. Sorry, I
Okay.
ended that a little early.
No, that's totally fine. Thank you so much, Harmony. Really appreciate learning about your awesome programs. Okay, I will pass it to Sarah next from Arizona Serve of Prescott College. Sarah, would you like me to operate your slides or would you like to take the reins? Control it from your computer.
I see that you have them already there. So since it's already up, I think if you want to just operate them, that would be fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to be presenting as well as Allison. Desiree, because our program may not necessarily be super fitting to you and to your students, we're not going to necessarily take up too much of your time, but I do know that this is recording in case other folks do have an interest in our program and what's kind of going on in the Prescott and Tucson region. But we will try to kind of keep this short and brief and not waste too much of your time. So thank you for letting us speak today. So as Lou said, my name is Sarah Haber and I'm here with Allison Doty and we are a part of Arizona Serve. So Lou, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So as you know, Desiree, you've been kind of hearing from this morning's presentation and as well as from Sarai and from Harmony. You've heard a lot about AmeriCorps. Basically, Arizona Serve is also an AmeriCorps program, and we are an AmeriCorps program of Prescott College. And much like Mesa United Way and Public Allies, Arizona Serve is also an intermediary organization. So basically what we do is we go out into the community in both Prescott and in Tucson. We meet up with these different nonprofit agencies. We take a look at their needs. We do a little bit of a needs assessment and think, could these needs or gaps be filled by an AmeriCorps volunteer? And that's how we create our AmeriCorps positions. And then on the flip side, Arizona Serve then goes out and finds those individuals like Allison, who will step in and take on those AmeriCorps opportunities. And like I said, we are based in Prescott as well as here in Tucson. Our office in Prescott, it does happen to be in the campus of Prescott College. And then down here in Tucson, our office is located here at Changemaker High School. And you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So again, we're not going to dive too much into this because a lot of this information was shared this morning as well as from our lovely other presenters. But What you need to know about our program, Arizona Serve, the members that we have, the branches that we have members serving under are our AmeriCorps Vista branch and the AmeriCorps State branch. So the AmeriCorps Vista branch is more full-time, serving Monday through Friday, doing more capacity building and sustainability for an organization. And then on the state side, those terms of services do vary depending on the kind of position you're taking on. So those do range from part-time all the way up to full-time. And the focus there is more direct service. And like I said, we're not going to dive too much into this because of what has already been shared this morning and previously. So Lou, you can go ahead and go to the next slide.
Yeah, so again, this slide just has those benefits and a little bit more of the details about the state grants. But instead of going through that, since we've already done that today, I was just going to give you an idea of some of the site placements we have with Arizona Serve. So down here in Tucson, we have some members serving at the IRC, that's the International Rescue Committee. And there they are working with refugees and they're working with them to help them find housing, doing cultural orientation so they can work better in the United States and just any kind of management with the refugees that will help them. We also have members serving at the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona. And there's a wide range of opportunities there. There are some people working at the community garden, Las Milpitas, working with education and outreach. And there's some people that are placed at the actual food bank and they help with redistributions and things like that. And the last one that I'm going to go over is a position at the YWCA, and that is the Business Recovery Specialist. And their position helps local businesses connect with online resources and some IT work as well. So that's just like the broad range of things that we have available. All of those range from part-time positions that are 8 to 10 hours a week to full-time. And then the benefits kind of match the hours requirement. So yeah, I think you can go to the next slide, please.
Alrighty, and then on the Vista side, just to kind of give you some examples of what work our Vista members are doing. I myself, like I said earlier, I served as a Vista volunteer when I first got my start in national service, and my role as a Vista, I was serving in Prescott for the town's Chamber of Commerce. And my role there was the community volunteer program coordinator. So not only was I in charge of managing and coordinating the volunteers that came in and out of the chamber, but I also developed an online database that would help connect individuals in the community to local volunteer opportunities. So like I mentioned earlier, and like folks have mentioned throughout the presentation, the overall goal of a Vista is to add capacity and sustainability into an organization. So a great way to kind of distinguish a Vista term of service versus a state term of service, if you were to think of a tutoring center, Desiree, there's somebody who's behind the scenes and they're kind of developing that curriculum that the tutors will use. That would be a Vista. So they're serving indirectly. And then on the flip side, the person who is doing the actual tutoring and working directly with the students or working directly with the clients, that would be an example of an AmeriCorps state term of service. So they are serving directly. Yeah, any questions so far?
No, that you actually clarified that kind of well, because I was trying to keep like straight, like the what was the difference between the two. So that was actually a great analogy. That's why I wrote it down.
Great. All righty. And Lou, I think you can go to our next slide. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, Arizona Serve, we're connecting these individuals to these AmeriCorps opportunities. And then what kind of happens next? Does Arizona Serve just kind of step away and leave? No, we are very much still a part of that members' service experience, even though they are, off at a different site working with different people on a day-to-day basis. at Arizona Serve, we are able to kind of offer this more collaborative team environment for our members. So even though our members are serving at different sites on a day-to-day basis, we do have lots of opportunities where we actually bring our entire AmeriCorps team back together. And we do this in the form of monthly team meetings. We'll have ongoing training opportunities and regular coaching opportunities. And really, that's kind of the point of our staff, that's kind of the point of our program managers. We're constantly checking in with our site supervisors and our members to kind of make sure that things are going all right in their service, or if things are not going all right, that's where Arizona Serve can kind of come in and intervene. So we are this intermediary organization, but we're also kind of this big supportive organization to the members and to the sites, throughout that term of service. And like I said, we'll have monthly team meetings, we have professional development opportunities, and then kind of more on the informal side, we do love to, obviously in a non-COVID world, get our members together and, get out and get to know the community. A lot of times for a VISTA position, and even some of our state positions, we do have folks that are relocating from other areas. So helping to get them more settled in and get to know their community more. That's what, Arizona Serve is here for. And Lou, I think you can go ahead to the next slide.
And so other opportunities in the year of service include some more professional development and other requirements. So the first one is the Civic Leadership Training Program. So this is really cool, especially for someone who has just graduated from high school or is currently in college, because through this program, you'll actually get 4 credits from Prescott College. So these trainings include topics that let the members learn more about nonprofit management and other leadership skills. So just some examples: project management, nonprofit fundraising, volunteer management, all those sorts of things. And then again, something really special is that they're able to get those 4 credits from Prescott College. And then another requirement is the National Days of Service. So these are days when the entire cohort comes together at a specific site to serve. So these happen on 9/11, MLK Day, AmeriCorps Week, which is what we're in right now, and then also National Service Recognition Day. And so another really special thing about Arizona Serve is our guest speaker series. So while the civic leadership training happens in the fall, the guest speaker series happens in the spring. And so we bring panelists together to talk about different subjects. So for example, we just had one on health equity, and the one coming up is on food justice. So we try to get local people to talk about that so our members can become more aware. And those are also open to the community. So really anyone can come learn at those guest speaker series. And yeah, I think I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Sarah.
The only quick plug I'll make about our guest speaker series, as Allison mentioned, these are open to the community. So for anyone here in this space, we do broadcast our guest speaker series live over Facebook. Normally in a non-COVID world, we would have these in person and we would still record and broadcast this live over Facebook. But because of COVID, obviously, we have transitioned over to a Zoom model, which actually has been working, I think, in some ways better than the in-person model. So if folks are interested in checking out the guest speaker series, go ahead and like us on Facebook, and we'll have events on Facebook to let you know when all of those great guest speaker series events are happening. Cool. So I think, we kind of did talk about this in the beginning of today's workshop, but, why would somebody, join AmeriCorps, and where could they kind of go after they have completed their AmeriCorps term? AmeriCorps, I would say, is a really great stepping stone for those who perhaps are interested in pursuing other types of service, such as the Peace Corps. A lot of times folks do often refer to AmeriCorps as the domestic version of the Peace Corps. So I would say that AmeriCorps is probably a really great experience if you maybe want to just, dip your toes into what service is kind of like on a national level, and, utilizing some of those things that you are learning from your AmeriCorps service and then implementing them into the Peace Corps service. So this is just a success story of one of our alum, Megan. So she served as a Vista and then afterwards went on to go and pursue things in the Peace Corps. And then another route that we find that our members do take on, we do find that some members utilize AmeriCorps as like a gap year in between going to grad school or even college in general. So I would say that AmeriCorps, I think, is probably, one of those things that just also looks really nice on your resume, and, you're gaining some of those work experiences, and yeah, just another way that folks like Nick you see here have utilized this to pursue things in the realm of grad school.
Yeah, and again, I think we've gone over some of these eligibility requirements, but one I will point out is the very last one, college degree or equivalent experience required. That's mostly for those VISTA positions. So like state positions, that is not necessarily a requirement, especially if it's a part-time position. And just really quickly, members must be at least 17 years old, no upper age limit, ability to pass state and federal background checks, and as well as being a US citizen or national or lawful permanent resident of the US.
Yeah. And so in terms of, how folks could actually go about applying, anyone can go and submit their application to us that they can find on our website, so arizonaserve.org. It's very easy to fill out. It shouldn't take too much of your time. If you are interested in a VISTA position, you will have to submit an official application through myamericorps.gov. That being said, if you do submit the application, the one that you find on our website, and you are interested in a VISTA role, we will be happy to kind of direct you to that correct application. That one is a little bit more complicated and complex. So when in doubt, if you want to just find the one that's on our website, and like I said, we would be happy to direct you to, where you need to be. And then once we receive your application, our recruitment team will then review it. And then we will most likely reach out to set up a first round informational interview. And then after that, we would then take your application, send it over to the partner sites. And then from there, our partner sites would then choose who they would like to invite in for a second round interview. And that's really pretty much it in terms of our recruitment process. So that kind of concludes what Allison and I wanted to share with you today. Here is just some additional information. So the link to our website. And if you do have any questions, you can shoot us an email at AmeriCorps@arizonaserve.org. And like I said, if you do want to check out some of our neat opportunities that we do have going on, such as our guest speaker series, you can follow us on our social media. I do also want to plug that this week for AmeriCorps Week, our amazing team leaders have actually set up some really neat workshops every day starting at 4 o'clock. Again, also being broadcasted live over Facebook. Just to give you an example, Monday, our workshop was examining the 3 phases of a VISTA service. So they looked at one VISTA project and the 3 different people from year to year who were working on that project, and they all got to talk about their experience. Yesterday, we had an awesome workshop where we invited in a few of our alums of our program, and they all talked about, kind of where they are now and their journey from service to career and how they were able to turn their service into a career. So yeah, if folks are interested in checking out what our team leaders have going on this week, feel free to follow us on our social media.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah and Allison. Also, thanks to Harmony and Sarai. That was a lot of really great information shared, and we appreciate everyone's time. And that concludes our session for today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll just hang out for a few minutes if there are any last questions or connections you want to make. But feel free to log off whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no,
Thanks again.
the one question I had was clarified because I had seen that at one